Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program. Welcome back. I'm talking to you, Desert Hot Springs. I'm talking to you, Cathedral City. I'm talking to all desert cities, including Thousand Palms, Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage, Indian Wells. Who am I forgetting? Bermuda Dunes, Indio, and I see you there, City of Coachella. Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Amit S.Katz. I am the author of the book, The Front Line of Nutrition, 50 Treatments, Remedies, and Cures you can find in a health food store. I'm also the owner of Lifestyles Nutrition in Indian Wells, California. We are located on Highway 111 and Cook Street in the Ralph's Shopping Center. We're right next door to Kitchen. Everybody knows Jan. Well, if you've been coming there for a while, guess who's the new boy on the block? That would be me and my store. I'm also the progenitor, the creator of the Amit's Lifestyles Diet. It's a weight loss program designed to give you the easiest access to weight loss by navigating as many of the stumbling blocks that you will encounter. It also empowers you, puts that knowledge that you need in your hands to turn it into your lifestyle. Now, if you need to contact me or want to see more about what I do, you're welcome to go to healthtruthportal.com. That's my blog site. Things that we will be talking about today will appear there. Things that I may talk about in the future are already there. If there is something that you hear about today, and let's say you're not in town or you'd like to purchase it or you can't make it in, by all means go ahead to, you can log on to our web store, lifestylesnutrition.net, and it's all there for purchase. And if you have a question, you're more than welcome to email me at lifestylesweb@yahoo.com. And if you want any information about my diet, the principles, 6 pillars of my diet are all there at amitslifestylesdiet.com. That's AMITS, lifestylesdiet.com. Okay, we are loaded for bear, folks. We have so much material. Let's just dive right into it. The last few weeks, I've been talking about empowerment. I've been talking about creating your very own health manual. The concept is very simple. As you go through life, you encounter various aches, pains, scrapes, cuts, bruises, and some other larger, bigger, more pressing health issues. From the day you're born, you're chambering these remedies. You probably weren't even aware of it, but we're going to bring that awareness to the forefront. If you scraped your knee, you went and got a Band-Aid, you know about various bacteria, so you disinfected it. Why not take that principle and chamber those thoughts for everything? And if you come across something that's really pressing, which is an issue for you, get knowledgeable about it. If you have arthritis, get knowledgeable about it. If you're losing your memory, get knowledgeable about it. If you're trying to lose weight and it hasn't been working, you've been doing this diet and that diet, you've been getting food sent to you at home, you don't know how to cook your food, get knowledgeable. That's what we're here for. The object of this show is to empower you, to put that knowledge in your hands so that you know what supplements work, what foods are right for you. And if you have any questions about any of this, you're welcome to call my store at 760-568-6522. You're welcome to call the show and ask any question you like. Or, as I said earlier, fire me an email. Something that we do regularly on this show. It's called Best Question of the Week. If you fire a real juicy question and I like it and it's pithy, it's pithy, right? If it's pithy, and it gets my health brain flowing in ways that I didn't think before, you become caller of the week for Best Question of the Week, and then you're entitled to a free giveaway. Yeah, and we have plenty of them. At 15 past the hour, my guest this week will be Tina Marx. We'll give her credentials out in a second, but before we do that, she's a life coach, and she's got a lot of knowledge. And she herself, even though not from the health field, has already gone as a regular civilian and built up her own health manual. which is strange for a guy like me, because this is what I do for a living. On the other hand, civilians, you don't. You don't have a concept of that. You come to that through suffering, through pain, through disease. So she went through that, and we're going to talk about it when she gets back in here. But I'd like to read a passage from my book that kind of illustrates that concept, if I will, or if I may. This is from the intro to my book, The Front Line of Nutrition, 50 Treatments, Remedies, and Cures You Can Find in a Health Food Store. The segment is called Of Personal Empowerment, or the Notion of Doctor as Healer. When a person in the civilized world gets sick with a real killer such as cancer, the prevailing notion is to relinquish responsibility over their life to a doctor. If you should get well, great. But if you don't, you become an experiment in chemoradiation, surgery, and medication. There are few doctors who will admit failure. To do so would put them in the poorhouse. And whether you live or die, they make money. This last point should make you at least a little bit suspicious. And in parentheses, I'll take this opportunity to apologize to the good ones out there. Even so, you know you're in the minority. The notion of any doctor, be he conventional MD, or an alternative practitioner as a healer, is one which disempowers you, because it only works if they can heal you 100% of the time, which is never going to happen with any one physician or modality. For example, I'm a great believer in acupuncture and attribute traditional Chinese medicine with a good chunk of my current health. But should I break a leg, I would need a hospital and an orthopedic doctor to set my bones and get me into a cast, ASAP, and not an acupuncturist. The choice of going to the hospital was my own, and not an acupuncturist's. The choice of, I did not relinquish it to anyone. Every human should choose treatment for themselves without relinquishing responsibility over their life to another human being. And if you don't get the results you are seeking, move to another doctor or modality. Do not stay in the same bad situation or let another human determine your life expectancy. They are not God. One definition of insanity is repeating the same action over and over again and expecting a different outcome. And staying with a doctor or modality which is failing you is exactly that, insanity. Your body is your ship, and you are its captain, and the greatest physician is holding a map or a sextant at best. Navigate your ship to where you want to go, and if the advice of the second in command doesn't sound right, get someone to come on board who makes sense and wishes to be part of your team. This book is just another attempt to place information in your hands. Take it with as much salt as you may need. You are in control of your life. No one can heal you but you. So, you're building your manual. End quote. So, the idea is you're in control. You're the one who's in the driver's seat. You need help, you go seek it. If something seems fishy and you need better information, seek those people out. If you need any information, you know where to call me, 760-568-6522. But if I'm not around and things don't make sense to you, or you encounter a physician who is rubbing you the wrong way, chances are you're not going to get the right results that you want. And it means it's time for you to move on. If the doctor isn't answering your question, find an alternative practitioner who will. But don't give your life over to anybody. At any point, you can pull the plug on it and say, I want to go somewhere else. I encounter people constantly who tell me, hey, I went to this doctor. I don't want to anger my doctor. I can't change midstream. You must. If you have to, go ahead and change midstream. Now, what I just illustrated here through the fantastic theater of the mind will be fleshed out with Tina Marx when she comes in at 15 after the hour. She is the author of the book, The Domino Effect, Fear and Faith, 9 Principles to Resurfacing in Your Own Life. It's a fantastic read. It is available at my store. If there are many, many points in this book that are, it doesn't matter what you're going through. If you're going through some major disease, some emotional crisis, or you're just confused about your life, or you want to take your game to the next level, there is something there in some chapter that will touch you. I guarantee you, 2013 has been a brutal year for many people, me included. This book was phenomenal as a beacon of light throughout the various things that I've gone through in the last 6 months. And we're going to bring her in at 15 after the hour to talk about this. Oh, by the way, folks, you don't get to sound this good just because you sound this good. You get to sound this good because there's somebody producing your show in the form of Valley Harvey. This isn't, I would probably sound like Gilbert Gottfried, without her tweaking the knobs. Oh, sure, you sound so great, Katz man. But she tweaks the knobs, makes me sound this good, and she makes everybody here sound this good, and kudos to her. Anyway, you are listening to Money Radio at 1200.
If good health is important to you, look no further than products from Genesis Today. Genesis Today has a great line of nutritional supplements made from pure natural foods that your body can absorb, instead of chemical supplements manufactured in a laboratory. Genesis Today is a progressive nutrition company that specializes in superfoods. These exceptional plants and fruits are packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other vital nutrients at 20 times, 100 times, even 200 times the nutritional value of common fruits and vegetables. These products are prepared with low to no heat so as not to destroy the nutrients and package them in non-toxic glass bottles for your consumption. Visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center today to find out what Genesis Today product is right for you.
Have you ever gone to a health food store seeking help and left with a product you didn't trust and information that was less than reliable? That never happens at Lifestyles Nutrition Center in Indian Wells. We have over 20 years of matching our customers with the right supplements to enhance their life and improve their health. Come to Lifestyles and experience our experience. Feel better, look better. And now, through the summer months, receive 25% off of all of our store supplements. For more information, call 760-568-6522. And remember the name, Lifestyles, the first, the last, and the only health food store you will ever need.
Memory. It can be, less than reliable. Do you ever walk into a room and forget why you went in there? Ever lose your train of thought right in the middle of a conversation? What about misplacing your car keys or misplacing the whole car? If you think about it, your brain controls everything you do, walking, talking, and remembering things. The healthier your brain is, the better it's able to control all these important functions. As a normal part of aging, our memory begins to fade. Prevagen was developed to improve memory and support cognitive function. If you're experiencing occasional absent-mindedness or just want to support healthy brain function, then visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center in Indian Wells and ask for Prevagen. Prevagen is also available by calling 760-368-6522. Call 760-368-6522 or visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center and ask for Prevagen today.
Turn your smartphone into money. Well, Money Radio at least. Download our apps for Apple and Android and listen anywhere. Money Radio 1200.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Meets Lifestyles radio program. My guest in the studio is the incomparable Tina Marx. She is the author of The Domino Effect, Fear and Faith. She has her own TV program that carries the same name, The Domino Effect. And if you want to view her and she's real easy on the eyes, although she doesn't like it when you say that. You're welcome to go to her website at www.tinamarx.net. She's a life coach. There's tons and tons of information. And if you'd like to call her, 760-832-0321. Hi, Tina. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Amit. Thank you for having me.
Okay, Tina. We're going to dive right into your situation. In your book, you talk a lot about your life. You're not talking about somebody else or about... you're talking specifically about examples in your life.
Absolutely.
And my whole thing here is to empower people. I know that your whole thing is to empower people. And knowledge is power. Now, as I said earlier, for me to go ahead and construct my own manual and then come out with a book is a very natural thing. For most people, that is not the case. I know from our conversations before that you have a regimen, that you do many, many things to enhance your health and to maintain your health.
Yes.
So let's start at the beginning. How did this happen? Because that was not the natural order of things for Tina Marx. One day something happened.
Well, let me just preface this by saying, and I just had this conversation earlier today. You know, I was fortunate to have a mother who was very conscious about what I ate. We weren't allowed candy. We were allowed dessert every night, but it was very well balanced. What most people would think of as excellent eating habits. You know, fresh food for the most part, not a lot of processed food. So I naturally gravitated towards that when I was older, you know, and unfortunately most children aren't that fortunate. I don't know why parents do this, but they dumb down food for their kids. You know, if you're going to give them mac and cheese, you're going to give them chicken McNuggets because you think that's what they'll eat. Then they're going to grow up as adults, and that's what they're going to crave, and that's what they're, you know, and that's where it all, spirals out of control.
How do you undo that after 30 years?
You don't. You are, you know, their palate is beginning from when they start putting food in their mouth. I mean, my son, you know, asks for salads. He asks for salmon.
Hey, Morgan, Mom's on the radio.
Yeah, and, you know, then he has friends that come over, and they're like, what is this? And they can taste the difference. Like, I just bought him these natural bagels from your store that are rice, and they're gluten-free, and he loves them. And, you know, I think a lot of kids would say, no, that's not a bagel. But anyways, so I was raised that way, and so I never really had any reason to fear for my health, and I was always very athletic. I did smoke for many years. I will say that.
Really?
I was a smoker, yes.
At what age did that kick in?
At 18 years old, and pretty heavy. I was in the music business, and back then you could smoke at your desk, and, you know, be in the music business, you know, you smoke. I smoked even more. I did quit at 37.
Before you go on, how much smoking did you actually do a day?
My worst day was probably 2 packs a day, but I was pretty religious around a pack a day. And it's very strange. I would run. I'd still run. I'd run 5 miles a day and smoke.
By the way, I've taken Tina's pulse, and it's an athlete's pulse. You know, even though, how tall are you? You're like 5'4". 5'4". You know, you think, a smaller female, it should be like a hummingbird's pulse. It's like a horse. It beats solid, very healthy. Remember when I took your pulse?
I remember that.
So you're very, very healthy.
I am. And you know, and I think, well, this was my logic too. You know, well, at least if I'm smoking, I'm airing it out by running every day. So, but anyway, let's see, a little over 2 years ago, I had gone in for an annual mammogram. It came back inconclusive. They asked me to come in again. Again, it came back inconclusive. Then they did an ultrasound on me, and they found 2 tumors, and they did a biopsy and found that one was cancerous.
How large was that initial tumor?
It was, I don't remember, 9 centimeters, I want to say. That could be completely.
That's pretty big.
It wasn't an aggressive cancer. I was very lucky in that. It was like a very lazy, what they said was a very lazy cancer. Okay. And the first surgeon that I met down here, you know, said, you're really lucky. This is the cancer you want to get if you're going to get cancer. And, you know, and immediately I started looking at alternative methods and why we get cancer. And I started reading up about, you know, the pH alkaline in your body. And, you know, if it becomes too acidic, you're giving any kind of disease, especially cancer, an environment to grow.
But my question is, why? Why would you, because we're trained in this society to just, you have cancer and you know there's one modality. You go to the doctor says you have cancer, this chemo, radiation. Why the curiosity? Where did that come from?
I think that's a gift from God. I've always been a seeker. I don't just take the first answer. And I had made a practice in my life to be a seeker, and I had written this book. It was actually edited and ready to go, and then this experience happened. And so I said, this was at the point where I said, you know what, you got to practice what you preach. You know, you can't, you know, your first reaction is a little fearful. You know, I have the big C. I better listen to my doctor. And then there was another voice inside of me, which I call your intuition, that said, you know, well, let's see. Because I had enough background in, you know, nutrition, and I, you know, was learning new things and supplements and things like that. After I quit smoking when I was 37 years old, so I started getting more on a path. And then I went back to my doctor with this knowledge and was asking questions about, you know, what about your pH balance? And, you know, he became very agitated, almost belligerent, and I realized right then that was not going to be the doctor. That was not going to be the doctor for me.
You write about that in the book.
Yes. I mean, anybody. I was listening to you before I came on, and I full-heartedly believe you in if you have a doctor, I feel poo-poos any kind of alternative or holistic approach, I would run from that doctor. You know,
he's basically demonstrating not open-mindedness. What are we asking from science?
Yes.
The basic thing that we ask from science is to be open-minded.
Yes.
That any possibility is acceptable until we prove otherwise.
Right.
So here you are, you're sick, you're like, here, please fix me. What about these other possibilities to enhance what you're doing? And he is shutting the door in the face of a possible a helper,
yes.
something that's the shoehorn that's going to help your heel get into
yes.
the cure.
Yes,
and that scared you.
It irritated me, actually. It irritated
you?
Yeah, because, I kind of saw right through it, and I feel that he was coming from a fear base. Either he didn't have the answers to what I was asking him, or he was fearful that I wasn't going to, have my surgery done by him. Maybe I had outed him.
To force you into do what I tell
he was
you.
strong-arming me. He was definitely strong-arming me, and I think, I think anybody that hear cancer, and, I've talked to so many people, and I have so many girlfriends since my cancer that are younger than me that have, had the double mastectomy and the chemo and the radiation and everything, and they didn't even want to try something else because they were scared into a corner. And, everybody's under this belief. Well, if my doctor says it, they doctor is God. Well, you know what? Everything is about evolution, and that, and you've got to realize who educates your doctors. The pharmaceutical companies do.
There is a large component to the money factor.
Absolutely.
Out there in the world of science and healing, and they can skew things.
The money factor.
The money factor.
Well, why is everybody getting sick, Amy?
There are 100 different factors now that play into disease now that didn't exist 50 years ago.
Would you
our
say
food?
Yeah, our
food. Metabolites of things that just didn't exist in our diet before. It's almost like a perfect storm, if you will.
Exactly.
In and of itself, maybe red dye won't give you cancer, or polysorbate 80 won't give you any particular disease, but you combine all of it.
Yes.
You're bombarded constantly. Your DNA is under bombardment.
And why is the food company doing this? Again, money.
Money.
It's money. It's all about money.
Yep.
So you do have to arm yourself with your own knowledge. You have to do your own research. I was recommended to have the lumpectomy, which I did. Mm-hmm. Looking back, you know what, I almost feel like I wish I hadn't done that, but I did. Mm-hmm. They wanted me to follow with the radiation and then with a drug called tamoxifen.
Yep.
I did neither. I did not do the radiation, and I did not do the tamoxifen, and I am now 2 years cancer-free.
That's amazing in and of itself. There should be like a clap track right here running like, yay! That's huge. 2 years. But that science has now created this sort of Maginot line, if you will, of 3 years for cancer.
I think it's 5.
Now it's 5?
Yeah, it's 5. In fact, I had somebody just, when I said, I am 2 years, she goes, well, that's
not 5 yet.
She said, that doesn't mean anything. You're not 5. I said, well, it means something.
It's huge.
And you know what? Let me tell you something. I am not at all fearful that it's going to come back. I would now, at this point now, Amy, I would be shocked if it came back, because you know what? I am so stringent about what I'm putting in my body. Mm-hmm. And here's another thing, okay? Not all foods are equal. Some foods are beneficial to you, but they're acidic. And this is what I learned too on my journey. Mm-hmm. Okay? For example, blueberries. Everybody hears about blueberries. Great antioxidant, right? Wonderful proteins like fish and meat and chicken. Mm-hmm. They're wonderful, but they're also acidic.
Yes.
So you should only be having 20% of acidic foods in your daily diet, 80% alkaline. So if you don't know what they are, this is one of the reasons, I think there was a couple of reasons why I think I got cancer. One was stress. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. And 2 was, I think I was eating a lot of acidic foods, thinking I was eating, good foods for me. And they are, but they were out of balance, and I think I created the acidic environment too.
But also, you had, again, good habits are accumulative. Bad habits are accumulative as well. You had chambered, 10, 15, 20 years of smoking.
Yes.
That, in and of itself, is accumulative damage to one's DNA. When you're younger, you can deal with it. When you're not so young, it starts to catch up with you. The older you get, the older your DNA is, the tougher it gets to deal with it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that baffles me is that people, when they get older, they still are living, they're still putting in their bodies that, what they did when they were 20s and 30s, and, your body cannot
handle that.
It can't handle that.
Well, we're coming up on a hard break. You are listening to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program. We're going to continue with my guest, Tina Marx, from the Domino Effect. I'm your host, Amit S.Katz, and you are listening to Money Radio 1200.
NBC News Radio, I'm Melissa Rayberger. Former South African President Nelson Mandela's health has taken a turn for the worse. Doctors in Pretoria say Mandela is in critical condition. He has been in intensive care since June 8th because of a chronic lung infection. NSA leaker Edward Snowden boarded an Aeroflot jet in Hong Kong today and flew to Moscow. The anti-secrecy group WikiLeaks is helping Snowden travel to Ecuador, where he has asked for asylum. New York Senator Chuck Schumer is fuming over President Vladimir Putin's refusal to help the U.S. extradite Snowden.
Allies are supposed to treat each other in decent ways, and Putin always seems almost eager to put a finger in the eye of the United States, whether it is Syria, Iran, and now, of course, with Snowden. That's not how allies should treat one another, and I think it'll have serious consequences for the United States-Russia relationship.
South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham says the Senate is close to 70 votes for the immigration reform bill. A final vote is expected late in the week. This is NBC News Radio.
It's a fact. You can make thousands of dollars flipping houses. Discover the secret house flipping formula from Dave and Pete, the stars of A&E's #1 hit show, Flipping Boston, for free.
Hi, it's Pete and Dave. We're giving you our flipping formula for free. It's what we use to find the right house, flip it fast, and get paid.
It's time to stop just talking about flipping houses and start doing it. Now is one of the best times in history. USA Today reported that you can make thousands of dollars in profit flipping houses.
In New York City, the average profit was over $118,000. Omaha, it's over $71,000. Lake Havasu, Arizona, the profit per flip was $87,000.
And we're going to show you how we do it for free. Stop dreaming. The houses are there. The opportunity will never be better. And for a limited time, the flipping formula is free.
Call now, 800-650-8465 for your free flipping formula book and 2 DVD quick start guide. Just pay processing. That's 800-650-8465. 800-650-8465.
Walking on Eggs, Cracking the Food Myths is a one-of-a-kind talk show that creates a dialogue about food, growing it, cooking it, eating it, and regulating it. Don't forget, you are what you eat, and we bring you the food news you can use. Our guests include experts on everything from climate change and cooking to nutrition and farming. I'm Janet Newcomb, and I invite you to join me every Sunday at 1 o'clock for Walking on Eggs right here on Money Radio 1200.
Mizell Senior Center of Palm Springs has been serving the Coachella Valley for nearly 40 years, with programs ranging from over 20 exercise classes each week to a unique senior fall prevention course, weekly concerts to computer and iPad classes. We are not your grandma's senior center. Recently, we expanded our Meals on Wheels program throughout the Coachella Valley from Palm Springs to Mecca, serving over 6,000 freshly prepared meals a month to our most frail homebound seniors, 90% of whom live in poverty. For more information or to make a contribution, visit mizell.org.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program. Before we went to break, we were talking with Tina Marx, who is the author of the book, The Domino Effect, Fear and Faith, 9 Principles for Resurfacing in Your Own Life. And we were talking about her own journey, how she has, although not coming from a certain nutrition or health background, encountered a health crisis, and as a result has been constructing her own personal manual, which is something that I'm encouraging all of you to tune in and start doing in your life and stop relinquishing responsibility over that health to a stranger. So, Tina, let's dive back into this.
Mm-hmm.
So, we were talking about your own health crisis, and we were at the point where we said that you're 2 years cancer-free. Cancer-free.
No radiation, no tamoxifen.
Which is huge in and of itself. Now, had you gone down that road of tamoxifen and radiation, where do you suspect that your health would be now?
I don't think it's immediate, Amit, and I think here is the big mystery and why a lot of people are not putting together their health demise with whether it's chemotherapy and radiation. I think it's down the line, because how many times have you heard, they're cancer-free now, and they had the radiation and they had the chemo. It's 10, 15 years down the line. Now your body is not able to fight off things that it would have normally been able to fight off. It's not immediate. I mean, it depends on how old you are when you're getting the treatment. But that's my feeling about the whole situation, And people don't put together that it was 10 years ago that had any contribution to the demise of their health.
Yeah. But in the last 2 years, we've talked about extensively about supplementation, and you have a massive program. I usually get somebody who'll come in and they'll say, I had cancer, so I've pumped up the vitamin E in my life and some selenium because I know it's anti-cancerous. But you're getting into the real heat-seeking missiles of one's health.
Yeah, because I'm constantly doing research. In fact, I just last month went on Protandim, and I know that you're familiar with Protandim, and to me that makes a lot of sense. Again, it's about evolution, Amy, right? I mean, that's to reduce the oxidative stress. And most people don't know what that means, but basically when you take Protandim, it eats up all the what is it, free radicals. Free radicals.
But again, when we talk about cancer, although I'm not an oncologist, the concept, cancer is the end result. However you went from health to this end result, there are many ways to get there. One of the avenues which contributes to various forms of cancer is the inflammatory response in the body. If you can reduce the inflammatory response, if the body's inflamed, there is a greater likelihood of damage to DNA and a greater likelihood of cancer proliferating in the body. You're creating the perfect environment for it to flourish. You reduce the inflammation. There are other health benefits to doing that. Your joints are going to be better. You're going to be clearer. You're going to come back from physical activity. As we get older, it's tougher to recoup. All these things will happen if you reduce your inflammation. But on top of that, you're taking your own body away from the hot zone of the possibility of cancer. Again, it's a possibility of cancer.
Yes.
But the idea is to remove you, to pull you away from that. And that is huge in and of itself, and it's proactive. You're doing it ahead of time. And, just because you're healthy right now does not mean that if you have inflammation in your body, that sooner or later it's going to come up in some way, shape, or form. I know it's probably, if you had a top 10 list, you're going to say, I'd rather have arthritis than cancer. But you can't make that determination.
Yes, and I'm becoming more convinced, too, that all disease is a nutrient deficiency. And if you think about it, that was another thing I think that contributed to me getting cancer. Even though I ate the right foods because some of them were acidic, I don't think I was eating enough. Which is why there's another superfood that I've just started taking, which is called Nature Burst, and it gives you 6 fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's amazing. And, I can rest assured, even though I eat salads, I eat well all day, there are some days where I have to go right over lunch, or, stress can do that to me, too. If I get a little bit stressed or anxious, I don't have an appetite.
Skip a meal,
Exactly. So, to get enough nutrients that your body needs on a daily basis, you have to eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
And like they say, at least one big bag of, mixed green salad, which I do every night for dinner. But it's still a lot, I mean, that's just like one, and then, for lunch or whatever. So this is a small scoop, and it gives you all tons of nutrients. And I just don't think people...
Yeah, there's a world out there of supplements that we need to start distinguishing between. We kind of dived right into it in this one statement that, you're taking a multiple vitamin. These are the nutrients that you need for life. Now, there's a whole series of food which is very healing. And you can tell me, yeah, well, I eat blueberries once a week. Maybe not good enough. Yeah, well, I eat salad twice a week. Not good enough. Okay, let's say it was good enough. Why are you doing just enough? Why aren't you in this world where there are diseases coming out of the woodwork at you? Why aren't you doing the maximum?
Exactly.
And if it's not that big of a deal, you don't have to graze on a whole bale of hay like a cow. You can get it in a super concentrated food source, and it's to the tune of what, like $1 a day?
Yeah.
$2 a day?
Well,
I mean,
but it's a meal replacement. Yes, exactly. And when people say, I don't have time to eat breakfast, okay? You don't have time to throw a scoop and a little bit of milk or almond milk and a half a banana.
Yeah, what are you doing? Are you special forces? I mean, if you don't have the time in the day, what are you doing? Are you like personal counselor to the president that you're on 24/7? Nonsense.
Yeah,
you're looking for an excuse, and you're making an excuse for yourself, and you shouldn't.
Yes, and this is all preventative. I mean, it really is. And sometimes people say, well, I don't feel any different. Well, prevention's not supposed to feel different. If you're sick and you started on the superfood, you would definitely feel a difference. You would feel more energy. You would feel, so it's that, and it's also recognizing too the foods. I mean, for my personal plan for my life, when I got the cancer, I realized that I'm a very sensitive person, which I knew, and I internalize everything, and I really know that it was carrying that stress and not releasing it, whether it was through forgiveness or this or that, and now, you know what, I've really opened up my heart. If somebody wrongs me, I feel betrayed or whatever, I immediately start sending love to that person. Because I know that I can't afford to internalize it. That is energy that's trapped in your body that will eat away at you faster than anything. And, it is mind, body, spirit. It's not just what you put in your body. It's your thoughts, what you put in your mind. And, that's what I talk about in the book, fear and faith. And faith that there is something greater out there, and constantly be seeking, constantly be doing your own research and your own education. Don't just, whatever resonates with you. When that doctor said that to me, it didn't resonate with me. My intuition.
The physician that tried to shut you down about.
Tried to shut me down, and I said, something feels wrong about this, and just the radiation didn't feel right, and I think if you follow your intuition, that is your all-knowing self. It's something deeper than anybody even gives it credit for.
Yeah, because. The flip side of this story in the book was when you did find the right person. And what did that feel like in your own head and in your own body?
Oh, it was a sense of relief. Well, the other thing that I didn't mention was that he, when I was walking out the last day, and I said, well, it was the last thing I asked him. I said, what kind of scar am I going to have? And he held out his fingers, probably about 2 inches, and I gasped. Because I have very small breasts to begin with. And he looked at me and said, well, what do you want? I'm saving your life. And I said, well, 10 minutes ago you said this, it shouldn't be a life-threatening cancer that you have. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So,
why are you using fear?
Why are you using fear to, yes, exactly. Yeah. And you know what? I'm so glad I didn't. The surgeon that I found at the Pink Lotus, in Beverly Hills, Dr. Christy Funk, who I suggest to anybody, you can't even see where I had, an operation. Yeah. That's how good she is. She is truly an artist. And if I would have gone with him out of fear and then been scarred like that, knowing there was another way, again, your options, everything is an option in life. Arm yourself with knowledge.
Exactly. You see, that's the thing. I tell this to people all the time. I'll get a call in the store, and somebody will say, hey, I've been using this product, and now something came out on the news that says there's a study that's come out, and it's saying that what I've been doing is really bad. And I'll tell them, listen, if I can scare you, it's the general principle in everything in your life, from your finances to your health, to your love, to your family, to whatever it is. If I can scare you, I can control you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fear disempowers you, empowers somebody else. And this is what this physician tried to do. He tried to scare you so that you would wait a minute. If this is so, you're saving my life, please save my life. He wanted you. He didn't look you in the eye as an equal and say, hey, trust me. He diminished you and said to you, now what do you want? I'm saving your life. You need me. I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
We know that is not the case.
Right. And the scar shouldn't matter because I'm saving your life. And the bottom line is, you're not that good of a surgeon to give me anything else except a 2-inch scar. There are much more talented surgeons out there that can. And you know what? I wouldn't have known. Who would know?
No.
And unfortunately, my sister-in-law didn't know that, and she does, and she's got to look at that every day. And if you don't have to, who wants to?
No, exactly. Or try to fix that with a surgery later on, or now, all of a sudden, let's say you had gone down that road, and then you obtained the knowledge that you have right now. Every time you look in the mirror, you'd say, that's fear.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And especially if I had gone against my intuition.
Exactly.
The only regret I ever have in my life is when I don't listen to my intuition, because it is right every single time. And you know what? I have nobody else to blame except myself for that.
Wow. Where did the time go, Tina?
I don't know.
What a great interview, people. Well, it was lovely having you on the show. Let me give some more information about Tina. If this resonates with you, if this is something that you need to know more about, you need to empower yourself, Tina is available at www.tinamarx, that's TINAMARX.net. Her number is 760-832-0321. Again, 760-832-0321. If you'd like a copy of her phenomenal book, The Domino Effect, Fear versus Faith, you're more than welcome to come into the store and pick a copy of it up. Search for her on TV. She's got her show, The Domino Effect. On what channel is that?
It's on 4, 6, and 7. 4 and 7 are the times and days vary, but Mondays at 11 o'clock following the Today Show on Channel 6, which is KMIR.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you, Tina. We're gonna go to break right now, and when we come back, we're gonna do Herb of the Week, and what else are we gonna do? We're gonna do Best Question of the Week. You're listening to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program on Money Radio 1200.
Memory. It can be, less than reliable. Do you ever walk into a room and forget why you went in there? Ever lose your train of thought right in the middle of a conversation? What about misplacing your car keys or misplacing the whole car? If you think about it, your brain controls everything you do, walking, talking, and remembering things. The healthier your brain is, the better it's able to control all these important functions. As a normal part of aging, our memory begins to fade. Prevagen was developed to improve memory and support cognitive function. If you're experiencing occasional absent-mindedness or just want to support healthy brain function, then visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center in Indian Wells and ask for Prevagen. Prevagen is also available by calling 760-368-6522. Call 760-368-6522 or visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center and ask for Prevagen today. If good health is important to you, look no further than products from Genesis Today. Genesis Today has a great line of nutritional supplements made from pure natural foods that your body can absorb, instead of chemical supplements manufactured in a laboratory. Genesis Today is a progressive nutrition company that specializes in superfoods. These exceptional plants and fruits are packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other vital nutrients at 20 times, 100 times, even 200 times the nutritional value of common fruits and vegetables. These products are prepared with low to no heat so as not to destroy the nutrients and package them in non-toxic glass bottles for your consumption. Visit Lifestyle Nutrition Center today to find out what Genesis Today product is right for you.
Have you ever gone to a health food store seeking help and left with a product you didn't trust and information that was less than reliable? That never happens at Lifestyles Nutrition Center in Indian Wells. We have over 20 years of matching our customers with the right supplements to enhance their life and improve their health. Come to Lifestyles and experience our experience. Feel better, look better. And now, through the summer months, receive 25% off of all of our store supplements. For more information, call 760-568-6522. And remember the name, Lifestyles, the first, the last, and the only health food store you will ever need.
What the market close means for you, along with insight from local business leaders. It's the Financial Review with Sinclair No, weekday afternoons at 4 on Money Radio 1200.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amit S.Katz, and you're listening to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program. We're coming up on... what are we doing now? I'm so confused. Okay. That was a really excellent interview with Tina Marx. Let's get to best question of the week. As I'm very fond of saying, this isn't just a bum show. We actually, we don't just educate, but we actually kind of encourage you via some really nice handouts. This question came through the Lifestyles web at yahoo.com, where you're welcome to fire any question at me. Last week, Herb of the Week was horse chestnut, and I got a really nice question from Denise Villasenor of Cathedral City, and she asks, she says, I have 3 children. After my first pregnancy, I started to develop varicose veins in my calves and behind my knees. Some veins are really dark and pronounced. From time to time, my legs will throb at night after a long day on my feet. Will the use of horse chestnut solve the problem? Okay, let's quantify that. Horse chestnut will help. It will definitely help. Solving a problem depends on several things. How bad are the varicose veins? Last week I spoke about how varicose veins can be caused by a diet that's deficient in fiber, because there's a relationship between the outside and the inside of the body, and if you're not using enough fiber naturally in your diet, it causes the colon, oddly enough, to become engorged. And that forces a lot of pressure on the outside of the body, and that causes these veins to balloon. Now, when you have a child, in many ways, that's very similar. You have this being growing inside you, forcing blood to the surface, and it can cause that. So, to answer your question, Denise, horse chestnut will help no matter what, except that there are some large expressions of varicose veins which cannot be solved. It will help it will shrink it, but solve it 100%, I can't really say. I'd have to see how bad it is, but if it's really bad, no, it won't solve it completely. But some of the other smaller veins that are popping out like that are definitely you can definitely address it, with horse chestnut. And if you already have it, and again, you're losing the battle, it's sliding, again, the scale is tipping and it's not in your favor, definitely turn it into part of your life. Chamber this herb and use it daily, and you will see that overall the throbbing will go away and a lot of these problems will go away. So at any point, Denise, you're welcome to come into the store, press the flesh with the Katzman, say hi, and you will get your bottle of horse chestnut. Okay, now, I wanted to throw it out there one more time. There is, I have some samples of moringa. We talked about it. It's a wonderful health nutrient. It's an herb, very high in various nutrients. It's anti-inflammatory. It's an antioxidant. It has 320 diseases that it can address. Phenomenal, just phenomenal stuff. And all you have to do is, like I said to Denise, come into the store, say hi to me or to Donna, who works for me. Hey, Donna, how are you doing? And she will give you a sample of moringa to take, try, use, and turn into part of your life. Okay, let's talk about herb of the week. What should I do? I was going to go astragalus, but I'll chamber that for another time. And then I thought maybe I'll do ginseng, but that's a show unto itself. But I think I'm going to do Nopal. Oh, gosh, this is so appropriate for us because we live here in the desert. Nopal cactus. Okay, for my Vato brothers who know what tuna roja is, tuna roja is prickly pear. And, it's common in Mexican cuisine to eat this from time to time. I adore it. I love this fruit. It's prickly on the outside, all sweet on the inside. And there's a company called Nokli that produce what they call ruby red. It's a juice, but it also appears in tablets. Now, what is Nopal for? It's anti-inflammatory. It helps with, oddly enough, coping with the heat outside. So if you're having a hard time adjusting to this heat, let's say you have a second home here, and you're like, honey, we left in April, but let's go back to the desert in July for a couple of weeks, and you get off the plane. It's too humid, it's too hot. Pop in and grab yourself. You can either eat the fruit, which will work. But if you're not going to go down to Cardenas in Coachella and get yourself a bag of prickly pear, you can pick up the capsules. So it really helps with coping with the heat. If you're an athlete, you get up in the morning, you start running around out there, and you're sweating buckets, and you're like, oh, gosh, I'm never going to get over this summer. It will help you. So another thing that it does, it helps recovery from fatigue. So if you're really stressed out, you've been doing a lot, burning candle at both ends, it will help. A fourth application is diabetes. It helps control sugar levels. And for weight loss, appetite control. So again, Nopal cactus, also known as tuna roja. And if you're looking for it in a drink, there's several products out on the market that are a juice of some form. There's a lot of multi-level stuff where you buy a product and it costs $60. There's no reason to pay $60 for this thing. But the best one on the market is the Nokli Ruby Red. Now, before we leave, I want to just touch on one point, which is really key, and it's not one of the principles of my diet program, but it's something that I need to bring up because it comes up from time to time with people. My program is called the Amit's Lifestyles Diet. If you go to my website, Amit's, it's AMITS, lifestylesdiet.com, you can see the principles of the diet. Now, I'll put a diet together for somebody, and most other sort of commercial diet systems are really trying to shoehorn you into. They try to tell you how easy it is to do their diet because they're just going to give you the food. But in the process, you did not learn how to eat. And if you're not learning how to eat, what are you going to do when the food stops? Okay? I know they say, hey, it's only $3 a day. Hey, it's only $5 a day. Sooner or later, you're not going to make the payment. Sooner or later, you're going to look good and say, I want to stop eating this way. But for 2, 3, 4 years that you were on this diet program, you didn't learn how to eat. So I'll have people who will come to me and say, hey, a friend of mine got some good results with you, or I really trust you, and I start telling them about my program. Well, you have to learn how to cook your food. If you're not going to learn how to cook your food, how are you going to learn how to eat? So this is part of everything that we've been talking about. You have to empower yourself. If you're going to lose weight, you have to learn how to eat. There's no way around it. We have to stop going to the market and just pulling out something out of a bag and expecting some wonder thing to happen to us. Learn to cook your food. That is the message of the week. Okay, where did the time go? Anyway, if you want to follow me, you're welcome to go to my blog site, healthtruthportal.com. If you'd like to purchase anything that we spoke about today, you're welcome to go to the web store, lifestylesnutrition.net. If you want to follow my diet or any of the blogs that I have about my diet or any information about me, you can find that at amitslifestylesdiet.com. Like me on Facebook because, as good a job as my mom did loving me, I still feel very needy, and that love will help. I assure you. It's very shallow, but it will help me. Thank you. Again, thank you very much, Valley, Harvey. Without you, I would probably sound like the Affleck duck. You don't sound this smooth without having somebody tweak the knobs in your favor, the way Valley has been doing for me for the last month. Again, you have been listening to the Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program on Money Radio 1200. God bless. Oh, yeah, and next week, my special guest on the show will be Dr. Darren Starkey. He is the head. He's the head biochemist over at Trace Minerals Research, and we'll be talking about electrolytes and how electrolytes will be there to enhance your life. So, again, you've been listening to Lifestyles Nutrition Radio program on 1200 Money Radio. God bless and take care.